Welcome to another Week 4 match. We have the Intimidation Tactics on player side versus the Sawk Tuah on opponent side. Intimidation Tactics are 1-2. They lost to take two Tyrannotars last week. The Mons are able to put on the most offensive pressure, like Mamoswine and Ditto were taken out too quickly and just ran out of resources like kind of fast, and just like the last few months were kind of left flailing around. And the Sawk Tuahs are now 2-1 after defeating me. I just thoroughly got outplayed. I misunderstood Genesect. There was like a turn where like I double attacked him on that protected. It was just like he definitely read me on like some protections, things like that. And looking at these teams, I think this is like a pretty big game for Gastrodon, I would say, for talking Sawk Tuahs. Gastrodon, water types can threaten Mamoswine. That can threaten Arcanine. The ground type can threaten the Mawile, and just like fire, ground, ice can threaten all these mons. And these mons are ones that grass isn't like, they don't have really great grass coverage. That's something that this Gastrodon can not only threaten a good amount of these mons, but it could stay on the field for a while, especially because it has self-healing and stuff like that. And for the for the Intimidation Tactics, I think Arcanine's could be pretty good here. The Gastrodon's not a good matchup, but with the fire type stab threatens arguably two of the scariest mons, which is the Metagross and the Genesect. The Intimidate can, if the Metagross is already Mega Evolved, it could hit like some of the hardest, like scariest physical attackers, like the Dragonite and the Metagross. That can be so hard to slow down. It can spread burn. It can resist the player off from Mimikyu, and it's got stuff like. And if you're so worried about more special attacks, you got Snarl to do some damage mitigation. And man, that's a lot of steel. That's 3 total steel types, huh? I also think Zapdos is gonna be pretty big. These mons get some rock moves, but rock moves are like not what these mons are known for doing, and they're like kind of hard to fit when you're trying to hit everything else. So Zapdos with a chance to paralyze things with static, and just is, I think, and it can do. You can't really throw many things super effectively, but it could do some consistent neutral damage versus a good part of the team. So you can like click like electric type move out versus everything against Gastrodon, and you'll probably be alright. And for these leads, that's really tough. I haven't really thought about what leads I'd want. Like, maybe you just lead the Clefairy with like a mon that can like threaten a bunch of these mons. You can do like Clefairy, Mamoswine. Mamoswine doesn't really get walled by any of these mons. You can start chipped it damaging things fast, and try to keep the Mamoswine kind of safe. Or maybe you can do like Greninja has like Protean, so like maybe you could do like Clefairy, Greninja, and like you could switch your stab move for whatever you need with your quote-unquote stab move for whatever it is for Protean. And I don't want to lead Genesect. That's really like my main. I just don't want to lead something that's quad a week to Arcanine. Like, we gotta get the Gastrodon in there earlier. It's like doesn't really have any bad matchups. I mean, maybe something with Gastrodon. Yeah, let's see what happens. Alright, so we have Mamoswine and Zapdos. Anytime you see a lead like this, you have to worry. There's a few things you gotta worry about. You gotta worry about Tailwind. You gotta worry about And you gotta worry about discharge earthquake combo, where you just spam stab moves, spread stab moves at the opponent. Can't. That's really hard to switch it to. So he doesn't need Tailwind right now, usually. I mean, maybe you do need Tailwind for the for what's it called? For the just so the Mamoswine's faster than the Mimikyu, but you don't need it right now. And just being able to just like double attack to make sure the Mimikyu's disguise is gone is like definitely has a decent amount of value to it. I think Mimikyu does get coverage to hit Mamoswine for super effectively. It's Drain Punch. Does it have Wood Hammer this gen? I don't know. I think it does. I know it gets at some point. And this Gastrodon can... Honestly, if there was a game that like setting up rocks doesn't look too bad, I think rocks is kind of good in this. I mean, that doesn't. You may not have brought it. I'm not a big fan of bringing rocks, almost ever. At least that's for my play style. But yeah, like, or you could just like Scald. But you also got to be careful of like the bait, like where this exact lead happened week 1, where like a Mamoswine was vulnerable to a Scald and Jake just protected Mamoswine and Tailwind, and so that's something we got to worry about. So if you're confident that, you just double the Zapdos, and like just like I don't know, play Rough Ice Beam or something like that. Oh, and we have Light Screen Mimikyu again. I did not know this got this move until last week, and this is Hidden Power Grass Zapdos. That hit 4 times? What in the world? That did so much. I mean, it's 100 base power if it hits 4. Like 23% on a 25 base power move? Like, it's not. Is there any chance that this is like a damage? Is this banded? I can't tell. But the light screen are already having immediate impact, and protecting your making sure you live Hidden Power Grass. You probably still live without it, but it becomes very close. And that was definitely not the turn I really expected from either side. Icicle Spear isn't like a very common move you see, but Icicle Spear that is actually a really smart brain here, because it has the property of not only breaking Mimikyu's disguise and still being able to do damage, is that the first hit can proc multi-scale, and the other hits can go through multi-scale. And Icicle Crash can still probably one-hit KO Dragonite, but you don't risk missing and stuff like that. Well, yeah, now that you know that the Hidden Power Grass is like on the table, and man, that did a Icicle Spear hurt. Like, it's maybe like time to just like double switch the you can, or maybe you can just like, I don't know, just like attack with the Mimikyu. Like this Gastrodon's like scared of Hidden Power Grass, so you can switch it to Genesect. It's probably like the safest thing, I'd argue. The Metagross is still weak to Mamoswine and Earthquake, so I'm not a big fan of that. And the Ice and the other one just, I don't think, make too much sense here. But yeah, the Mamoswine is definitely the bigger threat right now, because for the Sawk Tuah is just on the merit that you have Light Screen up but not Reflect, and maybe this Mimikyu also has Reflect, but we'll see. It's who even wants to use it. There's the Wood Hammer. Okay, it does get Wood Hammer, and that's a lot of damage, 70%, and you are going to KO yourself, which means this Gastrodon. Okay, it just feigns. Okay, wow, Mamoswine just hits that hard. No, so this is not a damage boosting item, and it's not any sort of choice item. So that's good information to have. But yeah, I don't really mind the having both your mons die there kind of stinks. I really feel like the Gastrodon could have had more value left in it or something. I don't really mind the Mimikyu going down. I don't know. I don't think the mon was that good for this battle, especially after this doll broke. But yeah, now you gotta deal with the Disquake combo, and Dragonite puts you fearful of Ice Shard, or just being slower getting Icicle Speared. So I think like Metagross maybe just bringing your 2 Steel types right now, honestly. Surely, I would think at least, unless neither of these Steel types can threaten to KO a Zapdos. Oh, I didn't realize Zapdos is that fast. Zapdos is faster than Genesect. Good to know. Okay. So this is where where the speed interactions become really important here. The Raichu can definitely threaten to KO the Mamoswine like safely, but can it threaten to kill the Zapdos? That is like the bigger question here. Zapdos has pretty decent bulk. Raichu doesn't hit that hard, but can you do 48% with like a Psychic or like, I don't know, a Thunderbolt or something? Because if you can, then you can just like attack Zapdos with Raichu and then attack Genesect with check Mamoswine with Genesect. But if not, that's when things start to become a problem. Okay. Or you can just be faster than the Zapdos and just be better trained. And the Genesect is actually it's going before the Raichu, which is quite a surprise here. Okay, it's Brick Break, so it's either physical or mixed, which is can definitely backfire really quickly against the Intimidation tactics because, you know, Intimidate, and you still got both of them to send out, and I can very well see either of them coming out now. I can see Arcanine or Mawile, honestly. I think Arcanine's a bit safer here. Because it's kind of... Oh, it's just like Dow, so you gotta be worried with the Water Stab, so never mind. See, I look to figure out what Genesect that is, so... Maybe Mawile is just like the better, safer brain here. Okay. Chooses to bring out Greninja. Now, what that kind of makes me think is that, like... Is this Greninja Hidden Power Fire? With Protean, that would make it hit a lot harder than you think it would. And it's quad super effective, but there is Light Screen, which, like I was talking about earlier, which is very annoying right now. And now you gotta ask yourself about how valuable is this Mamoswine. If this Mamoswine dies, what is your answer to Dragonite? You still have Mawile, you still have potential Ice Beam Greninja, so you still have stuff like that. And also, what do you sacrifice from switching? And what would you switch into? And none of them really excite me that much to switch into that feel great. Maybe the Arcanine here. You can take, if you think that if a Brick Break's going into the Mamoswine, you can switch into Arcanine. They'll take that very easily, and the Greninja can attack. And I think that's like maybe your best play here. Maybe not even attack with Greninja, you just like protect Greninja, switch into Arcanine because you wanna. It's just tough because then this is electric. This Raichu is really annoying. You can Dark Move. I should just Dark Move the Raichu even in front of Light Screen. I would assume it faints because Raichu is just so frail. But then you can get Bug Moved. This is just really awkward. Yeah, so this was just double attacked from Intimidation tactics. I can very well respect that. The protect from the Genesect. This was the worst case scenario for the protect and attack with the Lone Raichu. This just did not end up working at all. And I think so attacking Raichu is like the baseline play of like that's your first instinct to do with Dark Pulse. Yeah. So that like I'm not the biggest fan of this protect. You could have chosen to get rid, assuming you have Steel Cut. I mean, this Genesect could have killed either Mon if you really wanted it to. I think if you protect, you maybe double protect for more information. Just to like say, oh, this like the one Mon protect, then you just attack the Mon that protected next turn. But kind of just let Raichu out to rot. And I still think it had decent value with the it was fully healthy. I don't think it was gonna like get many KOs, but like still faster than everything, which is definitely definitely something useful about it. Maybe I don't think it has fake out because I have just not seen any of these Raichus with fake out. But like just like Thunderbolt something, just like do okay damage to Dragonite or chip something down, because you're now down to 3 Mons here. And we have between 1 and 4 turns left of the light screen. Ice Sharding. Let's see. I do wonder if the Hidden Power Fire is actually going to happen. That would be so funny if I called that. But the Dragonite and the Mamoswine are speed tied here. Obviously, you don't know how these monsters trains, and I don't know how fast the other things they're doing. But this Genesect is definitely going to be faster than the Mamoswine. We saw outspeed a Raichu, so that's something you got to be worried about. Where like you may not even want to try to win the speed tie, because you can just attack the Mamoswine with something, like even with Ice Beam. I mean the Ice Beam won't KO, but whatever. You get my point. But if you have, maybe you can like attack the Genesect with something. I don't, or maybe you can. There's a lot of ways you can do this. You're also just fat. You can just Ice Beam the dragon, just threaten to Ice Beam the Dragonite, and like, I don't. Earthquaking is like sounds really dicey here because you're doing so much damage to yourself. But like, there's definitely a lot of ways that this could go. Something's just telling me to like Ice Shard Dragonite, just guarantee break the scale, and like just start chipping at this Genesect, and then you can get like, I don't know, Clefairy out there, or like an Intimidate Mon, just gonna reduce the damage, and you would have enough resources to end this game. Also, just Dragonite Extreme Speed kill Mamoswine. I don't. Depending on the train, maybe it's got a shot. That's also something you gotta worry about. But yeah, this is definitely an awkward spot on both sides. So someone's gonna have to make a play here. And okay, I don't know if the intention was to sack Mamoswine. This might have just been like a half measure where like, hey, if he somehow doubles into my Greninja, I can just Ice School Spear and kind of just like, I'm gonna Ice School Spear the Dragonite and just kind of quote unquote win the game on the spot. But yeah, the Mamoswine dies without getting an attack off. Maybe it didn't have a Ice Shard, or maybe he felt like the Ice School Spear had a decent chance of going off. But now you have 2 monsters that are basically fully healthy. It's like that's okay. So it's Outrage. Good to know. Is that, are you still in Outrage if you, I guess not, because it doesn't have the text for it. But the light screen wore off, which is pretty huge now. The Greninja can just try to Ice Beam something. Ice Beam Dragonite, and there's not much that can really be done about it. And we've seen we have seen Flamethrowers, so you could like try to, well, let's see what he sends out first. I'm thinking like, I think one of the Intimidate Mons at this point. still, maybe not. Maybe Clefairy's actually just the best mon to bring in here. I think I'm actually convincing myself that Clefairy's the best here. And like just so like the Greninja's like always safe even from like a protector too. Like you just keep mashing that, get some chip damage, force like a bunch of switches or just mons to die, and then you can send in an Intimidate mon for like the meta grows or something. We are gonna send it to Mawile. Mawile definitely. I'm also completely fine with this. Both these mons threaten to do big damage, or even Oko. Dragonite, I don't know if huge power play rough KOs if it's full. We have seen only one. There's 2 more moves on this Greninja, and like maybe I'm just like going schizo, but like is Hidden Power Fire one of them? Because I don't like water Hydro Pump just wasn't good against this team. You can just like Ice Beam Dragonite and just like, I don't know, do some type of attack with the Mawile to the Genesect. Does this get Fire Punch or something? Not sure. You can also like, are you even scared of this? Are you even that scared of this Dragonite at this point once you Intimidate it? Because you know it's got Outrage, and it probably has Protect and like 2 other moves, and none of them are really that great against Mawile. So maybe you just ignore this Dragonite and just try to start bullying this Genesect. And man, this Genesect, it really just depends what its last move is. If it's got like a bug type move, you can start being in business against the Greninja, or you can like call out, if you think, like I was talking about earlier, the Ice Beam into the Dragonite, and then you can just return fire with a fire type move. Or like you can Flamethrower the Mawile with the +1 special attack. Yeah, Flamethrowing Mawile sounds pretty hard to stop actually. Oh, I don't know. Ooh, crit. I don't know Mawile's stats too much, but my instinct's telling me that might have not mattered. +1 special attack from Genesect. That sounds like quite murderous. Okay, so this was a double into the Mawile. So if the Mawile was probably still slower, so it does suck because you just took extra damage, but like the Mawile wasn't gonna get another attack off. But now that you now know 3 out of the outrage Fire Punch, I'm still convinced maybe Protect, or maybe there's also a chance that it's Assault Vest, but that's kind of rough. Dude, what do you send in now? I think you gotta send in Clefairy next, just off the fact that like if you send in like the Arcanine, then like in one of these 2 mons die, then you're running out of ways to do damage, so you gotta stagger that a little bit. So I kind of prefer the I think I prefer Clefairy right now, and that's what it is. This is a Follow Me Merchant, and that's what this is gonna be. And now you just got this Greninja can definitely threaten either mon it wants. Ice Beam, Dragonite, it can Dark Pulse was shown to be enough to threaten to KO the Genesect. It's just what mon do you think is more threatening at the end of the day? My instinct is telling me Genesect, even though Dragonite's at full, so it has multi-scale. Just from the fact that you can Intimidate it. And the arc in this, it just seems like kind of, Outrage with no Fire Punch. I don't see like coverage to hit Dragonite super, the Arcanine super effectively. So that's kind of my thinking here. And I think this is just like, do you just double attack here? Extreme Speed would be, if one of your moves is Extreme Speed, now would be a good time to click it, just so you can guarantee damage if the Greninja does Ice Beam. And it also definitely depends on what is it. It's Genesect Joust, so the last move is a water type move. So the Genesect does threaten to KO their Arcanine. So you can't ignore this. So you can like just double the Genesect, I guess. Start doubling the Clefairy, I guess. I don't know, just start attacking Greninja. No, you just like double the Greninja and he follows me, that's fine. And if you have extreme speed, I think that would be a safe time to click it. Alright. And yeah, okay. The Outrage was probably never the play there. I don't think this Clefairy is doing anything besides following me for almost the rest of the game. He did call the Protect correctly with the on which one to protect, which was good. But unfortunately, you didn't make any progress with that. Now the Genesect is left wide open. There's no more mind games to play. You can just Dark Pulse, and you can't switch into the Metagross, because that's also weak to Dark Pulse. So you really put yourself in a pretty big pickle here, doing no damage to Clefairy. So I think even if like this Clefairy got hit, I still am pretty sure about this that the Genesect was a bigger threat here, and I'm pretty confident about it. So this is just like Dark Pulse follow me again. I don't really see any other. And that is just going to KO. What does this Dragonite do this time? Waterfall. Okay. So now you also now know that Waterfall is available to threaten the Greninja. You can just send in the Genesect gets sent into again. The other problem is that you can just keep on mashing Dark Pulse against the Genesect, because it takes 2 more Waterfalls to KO this Clefairy, so you need like a double protect to have any shot winning this game. So you can just like keep on bullying the Genesect slot, and then you're in a 2v1, and you're gonna have an Arcanine with that Intimidated something that are, and both these mons should be faster than the Dragonite. Like you had to have like I don't know if there's any way to win at this point, but you would had to have protected there for like any shot. I think you had to protect the Genesect for any shot, and yeah, this is probably just too much of this. Oh, Helping Hand. Okay, Helping Hand Ice. That does not. Okay, that's. Don't think that's gonna matter, but I think Follow Me was still the safer play there. It just does look like it is Assault Fast did, but if it did have Earthquake, we should have seen it by now just to start hitting this Greninja. But now you leave the Greninja kind of open to something. But luckily the Waterfall just goes into Clefairy. And this is still a 2v1 with a fully healthy Arcanine, so that should be the game. And yeah, congrats to the Intimidation tactics. They move up to 2-2. And that's gonna do it for me. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.